Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Rock and Roll Spot Connect with my weekly comic book roundup. Actually, a rather light haul, even with something a little extra thrown in. But let's get started. So we'll start off with Infinity Warp's Weapon Hex #1. It's much like Soldier Supreme. And Iron Hammer. This is a two-part miniseries focusing on one of Gamora's warped souls from Infinity Wars. So we get a little, front page. Here's what's going on in Infinity Warp's bit. We start off on Mount Vundagore. A location surprised I don't think they've used it in any of the Marvel movies, regardless of the production company. Maybe they'll change in Phase 4. It'd be kind of cool. After all, I presume that Scarlet Witch is sticking around, and she's kind of related to that. So, anyway, we're getting some narration about how thunder never subsides. And it turns out there's a ritual going on between a scientist, Sarah, and a mystic named Herbert. And it looks like they're trying to offer up Nocturne from the Exiles to, oh boy, Mephichethon, a combination of Mephisto and Chthon. It does not work, and the demon that pops into totally not Nocturne explodes out of her stomach. Anyways, so Sarah and Herbert are trying to fix this, and they think, maybe we're going out the wrong way. Maybe we offer a flawed creature. And so Sarah becomes the vessel. Oh, but now she's gonna have a baby, and it's a girl. Anyway, so we're also introduced to Hellhound, who is very obviously a combination of Sabretooth and magic. And then the baby is born, Laura. And we see that apparently Hellhound was somewhat involved in her in raising her. We also got a little vignette of baby Laura, toddler Laura, killing a snake and then eating part of the snake guts, or at least putting them in her mouth. But, training, we get, instead of a trigger spell instead of a trigger scent. Anyways, Sarah gives, they don't give the character a name, so I'm not entirely clear who it's supposed to be a combination of, aside from Magda. Baba. I still can't. Way too obscure even for me, so that's saying something. Anyway, so a vial of Laura's blood. Anyway, we find out that as she's been growing up, now she's taking on missions with Hellhound, defending the mountain, for example, from Elsa Bladestone and her group of atheistic extremists known as the Covenant. And then we see the two of them going after the Midnight Guns. And taking an object from one of them, a sigil that belongs to a magic user named Hellfire. Hellfire is very obviously a combination of Ghost Rider and Punisher. In fact, the sigil is his skull. We've also got Cloak and Dagger. Cloak, Dagger, Agatha Harkness. It looks like we got a Phantom Rider. Banshee. Yeah, we're kind of all over the place when it comes to mystical sounding names. But after they return and we hit what's referred to in the book as End Day, because we have a constant countdown to until then. And the hex spell, or the trigger spell is used on Sarah, and Laura kills her mother. And we discover that she has a sister with white hair and a single claw comes out of her hand, named Speedweasel. Yes, it's a combination of Quicksilver and Honey Badger. I think that's one of the best things ever, honestly. And yes, the one claw does seem to be a bit more rude towards the center on Speedweasel than with Gabby. Anyways, moving on to X-Men Black Mystique. So X-Men Black is a series of 5 one-shots, each one focusing on a different X-Men villain. We already had Magneto and Mojo, now Mystique. Now, supposedly this is all supposed to be leading into the restart of Uncanny X-Men next month, so we'll see. Anywho, so we start off Washington, D.C., date night. We got Mystique narrating, you know, referring to herself as an artist of what she does. She frames a senator who's all about morality. Frames him for smacking her around a little bit. And she then manages to go all over the damn place. And then she goes to she's a hotel room, goes to a big box store, gets everything she's going to need before managing to get out of paying for her room. Sneaks into Trask Industries satellite office. It's actually a really good commentary for the Marvel Universe about satellite offices. Satellite offices are all the rage these days, especially if you're handling sensitive material. And offices in New York are lovely, but they're constantly under siege by one villain or another. Which, let's be honest, that's probably true. New York has got to be the worst place to have an office in the Marvel Universe. So anyways, Mystique put something in the water so that and basically goes through, seals ID cards, goes through until she eventually takes the place of the site manager. Ends up in the server room, and she explains that secured server rooms never have cameras. They assume physical security is enough. Don't want to compromise their data. And mentions she treasures such stupidity. However, Trask lacks focus. They have great minds working for them, but they're all chasing the next flashy achievement. They don't dig in and work. Which is fine by her. She enjoys breathing. More, she enjoys the way they steal everything that's not nailed down. To her, it's another form of big box store. All the plunder she could need under one roof. And what she's going after is supposedly data harvested from a fragment of Mother Vine before it performed its self-destruction. She would rather the data exist with her. But somehow, she ends up faced with a goon squad. Of course, Mystique being, well, Mystique, she beats her way through them and as a side bonus, rescues a young mutant, Whitney James. Now, Whitney James generates toxic gas. In fact, she killed her parents. I think that the story is another take on an issue of Ultimate X-Men from years ago, wherein a young mutant's powers manifested one night, and over the course of a morning, he killed half of his town, including his parents, because he generated some sort of corrosive. Then Wolverine has a few beers with the kid because he can survive the corrosive, and so no one's gonna know you were, basically no one's ever gonna know that you did this. They can't. And then Wolverine supposedly kills him. However, Mystique is not Wolverine, and Nick Fury is not asking her to kill someone. She's just breaking a young mutant out of custody for the shits and giggles. Kind of, I guess I can do a good deed too. And so, lets her off in Portland, and that's at the Portland city limits, and that's where the issue ends. Moving on to, however, the backup story, Apocalypse and Degeneration. So Apocalypse is further degenerating, now appearing to look like that. He's narrating, but losing his mental faculties as he degenerates. He still remembers what he used to be. When the primates find him, they go after him. Of course, he fights back. But he also gets overwhelmed. And little by little his mind is going. But he manages to get the Finch back as it was stolen, and when he does, a group of higher beings arrive. Well, this kind of scares the shit out of Apocalypse, because he's one, his higher functions or his faculties are leaving him little by little, and two, well, they're armed, and they're armed with more than just sticks, rocks, and bones. So his primary thought is, of course, survive. Yeah, see? Plus they teleported in. Anyway, so next week, X-Men Black will be Juggernaut, who it's always fun to see. which will be followed by Emma Frost. That's right, two Emma Frost stories this month. I do hope that X-Men Black Emma Frost, the writer, worked with Iceman's writer to, get so there's some continuity between the two, between Iceman #2 and, well, that. Anyways, moving on to Old Man Logan number 49, the next to last issue in the series. Anyways, so where we left off, Logan went to fight the Maestro, an alternate future version of the Hulk, who's crazy, brilliant, well, crazy and brilliant, and all the bad types of crazy too. Well, maybe not all, but mostly bad types of crazy. This is actually in fact, Maestro, like I said in the last issue, Maestro in the story that he originated in Hulk Future Imperfect has a trophy hall in where he lives, in his where he rules what's left of the Earth from. His trophy hall includes the broken surfboard of Silver Surfer, Wolverine's adamantium skeleton, just the skeleton, Cap's shield, Doctor Strange's cloak of levitation. Yeah, I think that there's a suit of Iron Man armor in there. Oh, a partial suit. But what's in there is what's still, wasn't destroyed in the fight, apparently. Yeah, and there's also mementos from downed villains too. I think Doc Ock's arms are in there. But yeah, it's a really messed up scene. Though admittedly, that's not what I'm remembering is not so much from Hulk Future Imperfect, but rather when Blink's Exiles team in the second Exiles title, well, maybe it was third, but the first Exiles title that followed the formula they now follow, Blink and a bunch of other characters go from reality to reality, visited while chasing down Proteus. So anyways, this issue of Old Man Logan starts off with Logan having a dream sequence. He wakes up in bed with his wife. She's still alive. He's, they're talking, and but he's also thinking, this isn't real. Stop torturing yourself. They're dead. Because you wouldn't fight back, they died. Hell, even Hawkeye shows up, and Old Man Hawkeye, blind as a bat. And then we got a redone version of how Hawkeye, basically how things began with the Old Man Logan story, with Hawkeye offering Logan a job driving. But Logan remembers this isn't how it happened. And while they're talking, suddenly Hawkeye sticks his hand into his forehead. It's like, pulls it out, covered in blood. Weird. And the bullet hole from where he was shot. And Old Man Logan is still there. Then Logan's wife and kids come back out. And now they're all very much dead. He calls himself a coward a few times over. And then he wakes up naked in the snow, surrounded by frozen dead bodies. And he has to take a moment to remember what happened. And they're like, oh, that's right, Maestro. Makes his way back into town. And Joshua, the kid that helped him out last issue, helps him some more and gets him inside. And anyways, meanwhile, Maestro is trying the two men that were guarding Logan for basically letting Logan out. They were allowing Logan to get out. Logan manages, starts getting dressed again, and he also pulls out the Regenix. Maybe might help. Apparently he's been out for 5 days healing. And but there's also some tech that Maestro's got that Logan wants to get rid of. Anyways, so while Logan and Joshua are talking, the two men are being dragged out to be hung in the public square because, well, yeah, that's kind of how Maestro does things. Give everyone a show. They're about to. We kind of go back and forth between Logan and Joshua and the hanging. And then just as Joshua thanks him, the bang, and Joshua reaches down and pulls his hand up, bloody, and some security forces pile into the room. Okay, good. You remember, right? But yeah, security forces burst into the room as the two men are being hung. Shoot Logan out the window. And of course, Maestro sees this happen and is like, look who decided to drop in. And but Logan still got the Regenix handy, so he'll probably be using that and having himself yet another fight with the Hulk. And that's Old Man Logan number 49. Like I said, Old Man Logan number 50, the final issue of the series, will be dropping in 2 weeks, actually, and that, of course, Old Man Logan is coming to an end. But starting up next month after. I'm thinking about it now. You may have already had Old Man Logan this month. Okay, yeah, we got 2 weeks. But either November or December, we'll be getting the beginning of the 12-issue miniseries, Dead Man Logan, which will presumably finish off Old Man Logan's story, especially with, Wolverine proper being back. But with fiery claws. Whatever. It's stupid. Anyway. Next on the list, we've got Astonishing X-Men number 16. So where we left off, Beast, Colossus, and Dazzler have been captured by the Office of National Emergency, and Banshee was elsewhere, and finally Warpath and Havoc decided to track down the Reavers and perhaps see about working with them. So anyway, Location 22, a secret weapons development facility of the Office of National Emergency. Colossus is being tortured. Dazzler is in a cell freaking out, and then she feigns choking. Though one of the guys working there is like, good, my kid made me go see her in concert last year. But anyways, she manages to get loose, attacks some of the ONE guys, and General Callahan decides that he's going to kill her for it. And saying that this is a weapons research, that his interest in her abilities runs out the moment she puts one of his men in the hospital. Anyways, Beast makes a deal with him. He'll work with Callahan if Callahan will spare Dazzler. Anyways, so Havoc and Warpath try to convince the Reavers that, they're kind of sort of on the same side. And we get, Havoc gets the backstory explained to him, reminding us that the Reavers have been prisoners ever since the X-Men attacked them in Canada and handed them over to the cops for no reason. No reason meaning they were trying to steal, Wolverine's body. Yeah, no reason at all. But anyways, they decide they're going to try and get the information that they need out of Havoc's head. And Havoc asks Warpath, hey, if they, if they lobotomize him or turn him into RoboCop or whatever, make them turn him back. And we learn that basically, anyways, so Donald Pierce and Beast are working together, and what do you know? Donald Pierce has basically got a cell phone built into his head. And then, so Havoc, Warpath, and their Reaver buddies go to attack the ONE. Warpath saying, remember when you were going around telling everyone it's time for the X-Men to return to doing the big hero thing again? How's that going? And Havoc replied with about as well as everyone expected. But Warpath also kind of enforces a no-killing rule for the Reavers. And so they manage to get everybody out. And Pierce kind of explains that Pierce gives you were always my favorite Summers brother, Havoc. And then they get Beast, who it turns out is working on something of his own. But the ONE attacks him with an actual Sentinel, not one of their Sentinel mechs. Of course, Dazzler and Havoc both use their powers to, attack it. Colossus picks up Warpath saying, let's do the fastball special. I was like, I already fly, you drunk Russian idiot. But yeah, they managed to. It turns out that what Beast is working on is basically a thing to summon Banshee to them. Of course, Banshee might be a ways away, so it might take a minute. And the Reavers might have, get attacked. The Reavers attack the Sentinels, and then turns out that what it is they were looking for allow the Reavers to integrate the technology with the technology, make it a part of them. So, for example, I think it's Bonebreaker attacks one of the Sentinels and basically takes it over and becomes that Sentinel. And Pierce and his Reaver Sentinels attack the X-Men because, of course. As we get it to be concluded, I've got a pretty good idea of how it's going to end. The X-Men fight the Reaver Sentinels. The X-Men win the day. Havoc is probably told, hey, look, we figure it's best to keep you on a leash here at the X-Mansion. Anyways, up next, it's not exactly a new comic. It's a reprinting of an actually rather old comic. So every month, Marvel reprints a bunch of their old books under the True Believers tag. There's usually a theme to them. This month the theme has been What If? And they've reprinted a bunch of classic issues of What If. For example, this week's What If the Alien Costume had possessed Spider-Man? I surely didn't pick this one based on the fact that Venom came out this month. Not at all. So anyway, as classic What Ifs tended to do, they tell a story. It begins with how the story actually went. But it says also that, things went different in other realities. In one such reality, when Peter went to talk to the Fantastic Four about the costume, the alien costume, oh, they're not home. Well, yes, I'm going to talk. So he goes to talk to Kirk Connors. And so they do a CAT scan, but then he eventually realizes, oh, hey, it's a symbiote. We get a battle with the FF and the black Spider-Man in the black costume, and they hold him prisoner for a while, but Doctor Strange tries with no avail, and then but then he manages to get free, and so the Avengers go after him, and including the Hulk, but the costume set kind of comes with an idea. Hey, the Hulk, that's a lot more power. Let's take that for a ride. And so the black costume bonds with the Hulk, leaving Peter a decrepit old man. And so at one point, in fact, old man Peter goes to visit Aunt May, and who's just wondering what's happened to her beloved nephew Peter, but he can't bring himself to tell her. Yeah, well, I was Spider-Man, and all kinds of crazy stuff happened, and now I'm an old man. Sorry, I'm just as old as you are. But he then dies of old age. So, anyways, the Avengers gather for his funeral, and then her own private funeral is Black Cat, who is soon joined by Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. And at the Fantastic Four's headquarters, Reed Richards is looking over Peter's research on the symbiote, and he's combined the two forms of research to find a means of tracking the symbiote and making a weapon to kill it. And so the Avengers go after the Hulk. Well, okay, so it's kind of an Avengers B team. I'm not gonna even mince words here. Well, your A stars, you've got Thor, Vision, Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange. Then you've got Star Fox, Photon, and then Mr. Fantastic and Human Torch. So they go after Venom Hulk, who ends up and Thor manages to use Mjolnir to knock the symbiote off of Venom, and he's off of the Hulk, and oh look, he's back to Bruce Banner. But it takes over Thor. But what it boils down to, is Black Cat killing the symbiote after it's been removed from Thor. Now the price she had to pay was working for the Kingpin forever. Anyway, that was the thing with a lot of these old what ifs, most what ifs in general. A lot of the older what ifs basically they had a formula. Take a specific event within the Marvel Universe, have it go the other way, and shows what kind of horrible outcome becomes of that. I was actually talking today about there was a two-parter with the basic idea being the Phoenix doesn't die. Oh man, did that turn out to, did that go to shit? I'm pretty sure it brings back the Days of Future Past. It brings the Days of Future Past future to fruition sooner. But anyway, that's it for this week's comic book roundup. Next Wednesday, I think next Wednesday we're actually going to a much larger haul. So that'll be a slightly longer roundup next week. Yeah, I wish Arachnite would hurry up and come out because I really want to read Infinity Warp's the Arachnite, because I mean, Spider-Man and Moon Knight. Come on, how cool does that sound? Anyway, yeah, that's all I got for this week's roundup. I'm gonna try and get the notes up, get my notes written out, and get a video up for Rob Zombie's Halloween for tomorrow. Try being the operative word. If I can, I'll probably just hold off on reviewing those until some other time. Anyway, of course, this weekend, some Friday or Saturday, we'll be putting up or Saturday or Sunday, we'll be putting up a review of the new Halloween movie. But that's it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to find out when I upload new content as soon as possible. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon are in the description box down below. If you want, you can like the Facebook page, follow Twitter, donate to the Patreon. Yeah, that's it for now. As always, this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.